As you can see, I'm decked up for you.
I know biggest of stars, like the biggest of people have started posing in front of me and being like, so how much are you gonna rate me? People use the word influencer quite loosely. What influence have you created? May I see it, please? I don't see it.
Being unfiltered with people in positions of power, people in, especially in Bollywood, do you feel the fear of burning some bridges?
At this point, they are all watching. They're not my friends. If I constantly speak good about someone, they're not gonna go and hand me a movie. Karan later invited me to his house to have dinner and everything. My interactions with him have always made me realize how kooky of a human being he actually is. Like, you know. It's hard being a person from the LGBTQ community in a very orthodox Muslim society. Like, I was outed to my family by my therapist. I was outed to all my friends because of like the person that I was in love with. I told them that, hey, you know, I think I might be like bi or whatever. And then they outed me to everybody. As gay people, we always have to say we choose our family, but that's just so sad because हम खून से इतना जुड़े हुए हैं that हमारे दिमाग में वो चीज गांठ की तरह बंधी हुई है कि भाई at the end of the day आपका परिवार होता है. And they would go and do all these like insane heterosexual things that have been normalized like forever. Like, you know, they would go and measure their penises in the bathroom and then compare with each other, which I hated what they wanted me to be. You know, when I attended the Ambani Sangeet, Isha, obviously, she's such a pure human being. Like, she made sure that I felt taken note of. I've never actually talked about this night. And Vicky Kaushal was like, came to like drop me out of the gate. And I was like, girl, where am I? I'm not normal on that show, to say the least.
Why do you say that?
I fought with everybody.
I know for a fact you're a traitor.
I know for a fact you're a traitor.
I will talk about your horrible clothes on the internet and you can't do anything about it. Dude, he's spiraling.
You have to say, no, this is not okay. And when she did that, I think it invoked that in a lot of people. Oh
Your style philosophy. 5 absolute must-haves.
Ooh! That's a big one.
That's what she said.
Honestly, I was like, do I cry on Humans of Bombay? Like, is that what I'm gonna do? And I called my mom and I was like, Mom, should I cry? And my mom was like, are you dumb?
Hi, Sufi.
Hi, how
Welcome
are
to the,
you?
I'm good. Welcome to the Humans of Bombay show.
Thank you. Hi, everybody watching. It's your resident mean person of the internet. Ding.
How are you doing?
Honestly, I just sat in 1 hour of traffic, so I'm doing 50-50.
Yeah. I
But I'm excited for this conversation and I know it's going to take us to 100.
Oh, I love that. Likewise. And as you can see, I'm decked up for you because
I know.
I was told
love the
Sufi is
tie.
coming. You do? Can you please
do.
repeat that one more time, Sufi?
I love the tie. And I love, you know, it's a thing. Like, as soon as people see me, like the biggest of stars, like the biggest of people have started posing in front of me and being like, so how much are you going to rate me? And I always think to myself that I can't rate you on your face because you want me to lie, but I want to be honest. So I'm going to be honest in my video. So I say, see it in the video.
You can rate me on my face.
7 out of 10.
I'll take it. I will take it. I was very scared you're going to give me a minus. So I will take a 7.
I just become nicer in front of people. Like I enter my congenialness in front of people. And then as soon as I'm in my house, I become like the mean person of the internet again.
This is Sufi Motiwala's miscongeniality phase.
Yes.
I love
it.
that.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Sufi, in the recent times, your coverage, your content on Met and Cannes garnered over 200 million views collectively, more than what big fashion brands and magazines were able to do.
Thank you.
Have you cracked the algorithm, Sufi?
I think I've not cracked the algorithm. I think I've just cracked what people want, like what people actually care about, you know. Oftentimes in fashion, the people that are covering fashion and, you know, educating people about fashion, they have such an arrogant point of view. They're like, oh my God, I'm that girl, like only like you can't sit with us. It's very that energy. And I've always, like life has always made me feel that way that, oh, you can't sit with us. Like, you know, I've always been the person with no friends. I've always been the outcasty kind of, you know, situation. And so when I started creating content, for me, it was like, I want to make fashion digestible for everybody. I want that the chacha selling chips on the like dukan to watch my Hindi video and be like, iske dress pe fungus laga hua hai. That is funny, you know, like I want it to be for everybody because at the end of the day, it's a $1 billion industry and all these people that we are talking about change clothes 5 times a day.
Yeah.
And the whole reason that they dress up again and again and again is so that we talk about them.
That is so true.
So I'm just doing like what is required of me in a way that is fun for me and fun for the people that watch me. That's it. Like I have never, because everything I do is against the algorithm.
Yeah.
Posting 30 reels a day, like, posting at 4 a.m. in the night. Yeah. Everything is against the algorithm.
Yeah.
Like none of the algorithm is in my support, but it's me, baby. And of course you're watching,
You deserve a pat on your back because what you're doing is working.
Thank you. That's honestly the first time I've ever heard someone say that.
No, I mean, see, very honestly speaking, it's what Shah Rukh Khan said. You can love me or hate me, you can't ignore me.
Thank you. What I say is that it doesn't matter if people watch me because they will watch. Of course you're watching.
Of course you're
That's my thing.
Yeah, they are watching. Everybody's watching.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about it. One thing though you've always mentioned is you don't like people calling you or tagging you as an influencer.
Yes.
Yeah, why the specificity that I don't want to be tagged? Is there a specific way you like to be projected or way you view yourself that this is what I do?
Firstly, I just feel like people use the word influencer quite loosely because where's the influence?
Correct.
What influence have you created? What influence have you created? May I see it, please? Yeah. I don't see it. So my thing is, I'm a content creator. You can even say that I'm a, tastemaker in a sense that, I share my opinion with people and I welcome people into having tastes and opinions of their own. I'm not trying to influence you. I'm trying to inform you that, oh my God, this is happening in the world and this is what I think about it. And I welcome you to tell me what you think about it in my comment section. But often people don't get that because so many of the people that I am talking about and so many of the people that are watching my content, they have such deep parasocial relationships with each other that they cannot even digest a new opinion that's not in support of their idol. Hello, your idol is just a human being who has a team of 20 people dressing them up. And if it's not looking cute, it's not looking cute.
Sometimes they do well, sometimes they
exactly.
don't.
And as the audience of said star, you should have the self-awareness, that if this actress is making 5 crores for this movie and I don't like that dress, that's not tragic. You should have the sensibility to, call your favorite artist out being like, girl, what is this mess? What are you wearing? Because the reason they have those jobs is because of you, the viewer. Yeah. So know your power.
True.
Make sure that you're being fed the content that you want to be fed because I'm not going to sit here being bored.
Yeah, fair.
I'm going to say that I don't like it.
Yeah.
And give me something interesting.
And when you say you're absolutely unfiltered, I think which is what people love. But that also has a flip side, right?
Of course.
Because you're being unfiltered with people in positions of power, people especially in Bollywood and the industry we all eventually probably want to be a part of. So do you feel the fear of burning some bridges?
Honestly, I feel the fear of that constantly, but I'm also constantly reminded of the fact that they're not my friends. They're not going to look out for me. If I constantly speak good about someone, they're not going to go and hand me a movie.
True.
So if me being honest is making sure that my bills are paid, then I'm going to do that. If anybody else wants to pay my bills, then hello, I'm ready to sell my soul. And the second thing is that most of these people that I'm talking about have the sensibilities that, fashion commentary is not anything new. It's something that has existed for decades and decades. Hot Lamode's been doing it for what? 10 years. I Deserve Couture is doing it for what? At least 5 to 6 years. So I'm not the newest thing. I'm the hottest thing, maybe. I'm not saying that, but I'm not the newest thing. So I think most of these actors do have the sense that, okay, it's just in good fun. And I also, as of late, have really been trying to work hard on the balance between, good commentary and bad commentary, and also making sure that it does not stray away from the dress or from the look. I have always made sure to do that. Now I'm making grave attention to that I make sure to call the woman, call the person beautiful, be like, oh my God, you look hot, but the outfit doesn't look hot. Constantly now I seed it and say it again and again so people have the realization that it's just about the clothes.
Fair. Awesome. I love that. I love the fact that you are learning, you are evolving and being like, okay, there is some feedback and some of it I agree with. So let me make my content better.
Exactly. Because as I started when I was 19 and now I'm 21. So I'm clearly growing in front of the internet. It's how those
and growing fast.
trying my best, you
Yeah.
know, and all. It's like how those Nickelodeon and Disney children used to grow up in front of the internet and they used to make all these mistakes. Like,
Correct.
I give myself the space to make these mistakes. Like,
Fair.
I don't beat myself up. Like, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes when I'm feeling like, oh my God, this is so funny, and then people are like, that was not funny. That was not funny. Like, shut the fuck up. So, like, I get that. So,
Yeah.
whenever that's happened, like, you know, I've made sure to, like, put up a story saying, hey, I'm sorry, or, like, addressing it in my broadcast or whatever, because I love the internet. Like,
Yeah.
I love being on the internet, and I want everybody to know what's up. Like,
No, I think that matters more. You being like, okay, fine, I agree. Maybe I made a mistake here. Let me do
yeah.
better.
I'm not scared of, like,
Making mistakes.
yeah, because I feel like everybody's too worried about, oh my God, it'll become a controversy.
Yeah.
What, like, everything's a controversy these days because people are so bored. Like, people will make anything into anything just to make sure that the numbers are raking, and as long as my face is in front of that video, I'm happy about it.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair. But has it ever gone to an extent where you've probably received like an angry DM from somebody or a star or somebody and you're like, oh, maybe I went too far?
Oh my God, like, you know, there was, I'm not going to name names, but there
Yeah.
was this one time where I received like a very, like, I can wear whatever I want kind of DM from
Yeah.
someone, and I just didn't respond to them. I just decided
You
that I
left
shouldn't
them on
respond.
red.
No, I left them in my like requests. I left them in my requests. Like, I never bothered responding like for months. And then like months later, I did another video on them and they were really happy about it. And then they messaged me like something sweet. And then I responded to that, and like we're friends now. Like, we chat all the time. So I honestly feel like it's not that serious.
Yeah.
I feel like even they realize that it's not that serious.
Fair.
And they're all just having fun.
Yeah.
Because at this point, they are all watching. Like, I do have the realization of that,
Correct.
that they are.
Yes.
Like, all of the people that I talk about are watching the videos that I make.
Yes.
So that is a sense of pressure as well, that, oh, I can't like be that girl as well. Like, I can't be fully unabashed. Just like, fuck, I hate that. Like, I
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't be Joan Rivers because
Yeah.
Joan Rivers would have been cancelled in 2025.
Correct.
So I can't be that. I need to be more sensible, supple version of that.
And how does this lead to access and getting exclusives with Isha Ambani and big designers?
I don't
and-
necessarily get exclusives as of yet. Like,
Okay.
I don't get exclusives to post. But most of these people will hit me up with like the looks that they are planning for,
wow.
these events. And they will ask me for my opinion, or like, what do you think about, like, should I wear this designer or should I wear that designer? And I know 99% that my opinion has like 1% value.
Yeah.
But having that 1% value makes me feel iconic.
No, fair.
Like, I had like people were asking me what to wear at the Met this year, and I'm sure they have like these massive iconic stylists
Yeah.
and designers dressing them. So who the am I? But like, being asked also that what outfit do you think is better looking is such an honor.
Wow.
Like, it makes me feel iconic, and I'm willing for them to give me the respect in like a year or two to hand me those exclusives and be like, we want you to be the first one to break this to the internet.
Yeah.
But I'm just happy being included as of yet,
Fair.
in these conversations. And
How is it when you meet people like these? Like, I'm sure you've met a lot of these celebrities
Yes,
and people.
and it's
tell
always-
me of an interaction that maybe left a mark on you, and you were like, oh
I
man,
think
that happened.
my first interaction, which was with, like, so Karan Johar started following me like on Instagram last year in December.
Okay.
And I had no sense of that. I actually was not aware that he was following me for like, I think a day or two. And I was, and I remember like my audience pointing it out to me that, you realize that Karan Johar is following you? And then I saw that notification and I was like, girl, gotten real.
Yeah.
Something's up. Like, we're doing something.
Yeah.
And then, Karan later invited me to his house to have dinner and everything. And I went to his house for dinner, and like, we were hanging out, or like we were having a meal or whatever. And I had like rehearsed 5,000 conversations in my head. Like, I'm going to say the perfect thing. I'm going to smile perfectly. I'm going to nod to everything he says, and I'm going to be perfect. And then I went in, and he was just like the ultimate like mentor kind of person for me, because he's just a human being. Like, I always, whenever I hear conversations about people talking about Karan Johar, I almost always feel like they're trying to service the version of him that they have envisioned. When in reality, like, my interactions with him have always made me realize how spooky of a human being he actually is. Like, you know, whenever I've gotten into trouble or whenever I've gotten into something that's given me anxiety or sleeplessness, like I have texted him and that man who is the Karan Johar has responded to me within 5 minutes.
Wow.
So I just think that, you know, I look at all of these people as just human beings, and I always try to make sure that I interact with them with the respect of a human being. Like, I respect their work, I respect the projects that they've been a part of, but I never am like wowed by them. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, not putting them on a pedestal.
Yeah,
human beings who
because
do great
you
work.
are just a human being doing your job, which is being an actor. Fame is just a byproduct of your job, and I'm sure it's going to be a byproduct of mine as well quite soon. So you're on the same level as me, Nicole, in my eyes. You know, that's what it is for me. But I do respect, you know, like
Absolutely.
if I'm having a conversation with Deepika Padukone, which I have, I do get like, I was like, ooh, girl. I got teared up and I was like, girl. So like, I do have the sense of respect for them that, you know, they are in this industry for decades and they've made it on such a huge level, like, you know. So I do have that respect for them, but at the end of the day, they're just human beings for me.
Yeah. And who's been your favorite person, apart from Karan Johar, to meet and interact that you hold very close
You
to your
know,
heart?
when I attended the Ambani Sangeet, Isha, obviously, she's such a pure human being. Like, she made sure that I felt taken note of. Like, she made sure to come and, like, made sure that, you know, like, did I have food? Was I having fun? Even though she had to attend to, like, 6,000 guests. And in that Sangeet, like, Justin Bieber is performing. So, like, it's a whirlwind of things that is happening there. So, for her to, like, even take 1 second out to to like think about, oh, I invited this person and they're here.
Wow.
Was like I come from nowhere.
Yeah.
I come from Surat on a road where, you know, I had no friends and I had nothing going on for me in life and I was always just worried. And so to think that just my words and just my sheer like fearlessness would result in people giving me that sort of thought even is just like legendary for me. Like it's boosted my morale and my self-value to heights that I don't think ever would have happened.
Yeah. And it's also reflective of her upbringing and her values.
Yes, like you know that they have a net worth of $114 billion.
Yeah.
They don't need to be doing all this.
Correct.
And so the fact that they go out of their way to do all this just is a reflection of their character. I feel like, you know, I'm the kind of person who used to live for the PR gossip and what's on Reddit and what are people saying. But I've realized now that most of that comes from a reflection of how those people are feeling about themselves and what these news, like what these incidents that these, like, you know, public figures are having affects them, like how it affects them. That's how they respond to it and that's how they talk about it. That's what we all do as human beings.
Yeah.
And so I've reached a point in my life where I allow myself to curate that opinion of myself alone. And I honestly, like, that's the one thing I stand for these days is that don't let your algorithm control you. Like, don't let, 100 people are saying that labubus are cute. That doesn't mean that you're going to go out and buy it, you know?
I just saw your post.
Yeah, like, you know, have a mind of your own.
Yeah.
Like, we're in 2025.
Yeah.
All the resources, all of the information is available to you. So, like, grow a pair of brain cells. I think it's high time.
I love that. You said you're just a boy from Surat who didn't have
Yeah.
any friends who made it. Let's rewind back a little bit
Oh
to
my
that.
God.
Right?
I walked myself right into that
Yeah,
one.
you gave me the perfect segue.
I know.
You were born in Mangalore,
Yes.
which I love because I think it has the best ghee roast in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Then you went to Surat, then
Yeah.
Delhi, and then Mumbai.
Yes.
You have lived in a lot of places, seen a lot of varied culture.
Yes.
A lot of
Not even
different-
Delhi, UP, Noida. Imagine.
Noida.
Can you tell? You could never. It's just like with friendships or like people that I might have fallen in love with or like my family for that matter. It's always felt to me that I'm screaming into their faces about how I'm feeling yet they're not listening. But it's like, I mean, of course, it has taken a lot of growing up to realize that A, what I'm screaming is not necessarily what makes sense to them. Like I need to scream in a way that makes sense to them. And B, I've understood what's making me scream. That has been like, you know, what is the trigger to the wound? What is the salt that's constantly making me burn up?
Wow.
Like I figured that shit out. Like I've like, you know, my entire life, I've just always felt so rejected by like, you know, the people around me because I couldn't be what they wanted me to be. Like growing up in Mangalore when I was young, I was not the child who wanted to play in sand and run around here and there. I wanted to sit and watch Barbie movies. And that resulted in, like these children like randomly leaving me and going home and randomly ditching me from wherever we are and then when I was in Surat I was friends with a bunch of like the most straightest people you could know in your life and they would go and do all these like insane heterosexual things that have been normalized like forever they would go and measure their penises in the bathroom and then compare with each other, which I'm sure like every straight person listening to this is not going to be shocked by that. They're going to be like, yeah, that happens. But I was not comfortable with that. And that was something that they picked out into making like, oh, that's bad. Why are you not comfortable with what we're comfortable with? And they would put me down and they would call me names and I allowed people to define me for the longest time. Like, it would be like, oh, he's calling me gay. I'm going to be gay and I'm going to be gay so bad that they can never say that again. I constantly tried to be what they wanted me to be. Even when I hated what they wanted me to be, which was the worst part. Like, I didn't even realize that the reason I'm upset with life is because I'm doing this to myself. I'm constantly trying to please everybody. I'm not subjected to that. I don't need to do that. Like, I have all the means to just do whatever the I want, because that's the whole point of life, is to make sure that when you go to sleep, you feel happy about what you're doing. And my active effort in life right now is to make sure that when I go to sleep and I lay my head down on that pillow, I should feel grateful. And in my 4,000 rupee IKEA pillow, I do feel grateful these days. Not gonna lie. Like, me being honest eventually resulted in me finding like people who get it. Like my best friend / stylist of 2 years, she's the one person that I've been friends with since childhood, because since childhood she got it. Like, she got what I wanted to be. Like, I wanted to be a supermodel, and then with my face card she told me that's never gonna happen. And then she diverted me to journalism and everything. So like, when you are who you are, it feels lonelier because there's not a lot of noise around you, there's not a lot of screaming around you, there's not a lot of chaos around you. But that's just you being alone. That's just you rejecting negative energy. So don't confuse alone and loneliness. Make sure you understand the difference between that, because when you are alone and when you do reject all this negative energy, you are going to invite people who service the higher purpose, who service the bigger picture, who service what you actually want to achieve in life. And that's all I strive for, because I'm on my way to the Met. And none of this tomfoolery is going to stop me,
So, in all of your self-awareness, which is very rare in today's day and age, especially at such a young age.
It's the saddest thing though, I'll tell you, it's the saddest thing. Like, my entire life, I've been told that, oh my God, you're so self-aware, you're wise beyond your years, and you're so mature. Like, whenever I'm having a conversation with adults, like, I've always heard this. And it almost always makes me feel like, but what about the childhood that was taken away from me? What about the stupid moments that I never got to live in my life? It always like burdens me when I hear that. So I would love if people would give people like me grace. Like, it builds a perspective. Like, nobody on the internet currently has the awareness that I'm just 21.
Yeah.
I'm just a girl.
No, I was also very surprised, when I was talking to the team and they told me that you're only 21. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Even I was surprised but I was surprised in a good way, because for me it was about what you've achieved. And I was like, he's only 21 and he's already done so much. So
I've
it was
achieved
that.
all my dreams in the last 2 years. I've become a content creator. I'm going to be a reality star now this month. And inshallah, I don't think they can sue me, but like, I'm also doing my acting debut this year, I made like things that were in the farthest of my dreams.
Wow.
Like, I have a list, on my phone. It's called, from the movie Angrezi Medium. It's called Ek Zindagi Meri 100 Khwahishat, The List. And it's a list of 100 things I want to achieve in life. And I wrote this list when my family like left me in Delhi and they were like, now go to your college or whatever. Like, so most of that list has come true. Like, all the stupid things that I used to write about, like, get a job, make some money, make sure you have a house and all that.
A 4,000 rupee IKEA pillow.
Yes, like, I did that. Like, all of that, like, just happened on its own, and all it took was me being delusional. Me being delusional enough to think that here I am, watch, you know? And so I'm just excited to, like, because Sufi Motiwala, in a sense, is also like a version of who I am. It's not necessarily my whole entire personality, It's not even my full name. My full name is Sufiyan. So Sufi Motiwala is obviously like, something that I created when I was at the lowest point of my life, where I felt like the most dejected and like I just felt helpless. Like I was like, what's going to happen now?
So you wanted an alternate personality.
I didn't know at that time that that's what I was doing, but in a sense, that's what I did end up doing. Like it became my coping mechanism to the point where, last year, like, a lot of people pointed it out that why are you so angry? You seem so angry. You seem so, why are you screaming? And I didn't even realize it was because most of my, displaced emotions were showing up in my content. And so I'm just really excited for people to get to see Sufyan now with the reality show and with the acting show. Like, when I was in the reality show, when I was in Traitors, we were captive there for 20 days. And it was for the first time in my life that I actually had a sense of, like, I woke up there. Like, I was like, oh, like, this is life. Touch grass. These are walls around me. This is what I am. Like, a reality show heightens that for people. A reality show heightens your emotions, where people are like, oh my God, this is do or die. This is what matters. Yeah. But for me, it was like my emotions were activated for the first time. It was like I was processing things in real time for the first time in my life, because that was the one thing, that was my job there, that you have to make sure you process everything and do your job as a contestant here. But it sort of switched something in my brain where it was like, I have all control of my life, and I need to assert more of that control, and I need to take up more of that control in the terms of how I'm making myself feel, how I'm reacting to things, how I'm coping with things. And I'm just so excited I'm not normal on that show, to say the least.
Why do you say that?
I fought with everybody fully. Like, I fought with everybody. I've like read them, like everything. And I've given people like reality TV peak. But I think they're also going to see a lot more like humanness from me, like real emotions. Like,
you're going to see the Sufyan.
Yes, like, when there were things in the show that really affected me, and like how I reacted to those situations, and like how I did the physical shit. Like, y'all don't expect me to run, but I can run. You don't know that. You don't know me. Like, you only know this 5% version of me that I have created that talks a certain way. That's all this like slay, gag, boot, whatever. Like, do you see the sense of language I have?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just excited to introduce like a broader image of who I am to the audience. And I'm just really excited. And I hope that the people will love it.
I think they will. And
I know.
The show looks very exciting.
I know.
And I believe it's got big names. I don't know if you can reveal anything right now. But
I think when this comes out, I think all of the cast will be revealed.
Okay.
So me and Apurva are on the show. Urfi's on the show.
Wow.
Raftar is on the show. Who else is on the show? Mukesh Chhabra is on the show. There's a lot of people on the show. There's 20 people on the show, and Karan is obviously hosting it.
Wow. And what about the acting debut? When is that happening?
It's also happening later this year only. I think Q3 of this year. Like, as soon as this wraps up, I think we're going to start in the promo kind of vibes.
Big year.
That.
You were obviously shooting for all this last year.
Yeah.
Right? So last year was very exciting in the sense that you were seeing a lot happen on the professional front.
Yeah.
Then why did you feel like there was a moment in your life, or why did you have that moments of feeling low or going through?
It was because I was not surrounded by the right people. It was because, my delusion had reached a point where all the awareness that I had, like I used to be so aware, oh my God, I'm aware. I had actually lost all sense of awareness. I was never in the present. I was always either living in the future, worried about the future, or I was living one foot in the past, running away from the past. Like, I was not even addressing my past or addressing my traumas or addressing the things that were making me ick. I was just constantly thinking about them, not thinking about the present, yet not reaching a conclusion anywhere. And while I was doing all this, I was surrounded by some of the worst people in my life that I could have. Like, be it on like the people that I was friends with, be it the people that, like everybody. Like, it was just not. And it's not me blaming those people also, because I'm sure those people at that time were just trying to do their best on what they could with me, but it's just that nothing was synergizing, nothing was, all of us were on different wavelengths. And I was constantly made to feel by all of these people that I didn't deserve any of it. That it was all just a fluke. It was all just like a joke, and that, oh, whatever, like, oh, these people just wanted, like, they just wanted to do it, so they did it. Whenever we decide that we're going to throw you out, we're going to throw you out. And like, it was a lot of that energy. Like, I was feeling a lot of pressure to like sort of
That's horrible.
adhere to what some people wanted me to say, or just be what they wanted me to be. Again, like, I had shockingly found myself in the one position of life that I didn't want to be, that I was running away from. And that resulted in me reaching like a what the f moment, like, what the f, like, how am I here?
How did I land up here?
Yeah, like, oh, like, I made sure that I have a safe space, I have a house, I made sure that I have financial stability. I took away all these things that were making me, like, feel horrible, and yet somehow I'm still feeling horrible.
Correct.
What is this tea? Like, I hate this. And so then I just dropped all of them. I said bye. I said good night. I can't deal with you. I'm done.
The biggest learning I've had as an adult is knowing
You
when to
just have to
step
say
away
bye.
from people and knowing when to say no. So
And
kudos to you
it's
for
no
doing
hatred
that.
towards those people.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
I
that's
think
the best
that
way to
was-
part.
I think that was your point in my life. Your point in my life was to make sure that I don't continue that, because I, like, both of these things, like my acting show, my reality show, my content finally getting the numbers that it deserves, 200 million, of course. Like, I want to be able to enjoy these moments.
Correct.
I want to be able to stare at my post and smile for 6 hours if I want to.
Correct.
Because I have not been able to do that for 21 years of my life. And if that's me being childish, and if that's me being hee hee ha ha, then hee hee ha ha.
That's
You
not you being childish, that's you taking control back of your life.
Yes, like, I just want to enjoy. Like, I want tomorrow is the press conference of like our player reveal of everything for
Oh,
Traitors,
wow.
and all I can think about is, oh my god, I'm going to a press conference.
Yeah. I'm excited for you.
I never dreamt that would happen for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm just so excited that, I'm wearing Kanaka Goya, and I'm wearing this sexy ass suit, and I'm carrying a purse, and oh my god, like, this is my life.
Yeah.
And I made that
You made that.
myself alone.
Yeah.
Like, none of my family supported me. I had nobody leading the way for me, nobody holding my hand and being like, oh my god, let me make you famous.
Yeah.
It was all me.
But did that ever get to you? Family not supporting you? Did they not understand
didn't, because
your
They did
sensibilities?
not. Because, it's hard being a person from the LGBTQ community in a very orthodox Muslim society, because it's stigma, It's like, उनके परदादाओं से ये बात चली आ रही है कि ये चीज़ exist ही नहीं करती. Like, it's just like, I've had the realization in life that you live your life in memory. Whatever you experience in your childhood, that's your basis of everything for the rest of your life. Like, when you were 6 or 7 and you had a horrible flight experience, you're going to have a fear of flights later on in your life if that goes unchecked.
Correct.
We live our entire life in that memory. And so now if my memory of my life is me thinking, this is okay, this is normal, this is comfortable, and their memory of life is, that's not normal, that's not okay, and their memory is stronger than mine. Like, they've gone 35, 40 years believing that.
That conditioning sets in.
So even when I was 17 and like my therapist had outed me to my family and all of that, I still had the sensibility that, my parents deserve the room to come on terms with this at their own timeline. Because it was this decision of, me, like, my sexuality was jumped onto all of us in my family. Like, I, for the first time, like, coming out to an adult was when I was in therapy at 16. Because I was heartbroken and I was confused and I was whatever in life. And like, after 4 sessions, I decided to, tell her. And within the second, she asked me to go out, and she told my grandfather that, oh, he's gay. Boop.
Without
Ding.
your permission.
Without my permission. Gagged. And I'm like, of course, that I'm dealing with this by saying gag and laughing about it, because it's so like uncomfortable to think about that memory, that because in that memory, it was like, pure silence.
Yeah.
It was like Uno reverse. Like I had no idea what is my play. Like I'm not even joking. I was so bamboozled by what happened that it did not even strike me that I could just say the therapist is lying. Years later, like this year, a friend of mine, like when I was just sharing this story with a friend, she was like, why didn't you just say that the therapist is lying? And I was like, why didn't I just say that? Like, it has always puzzled me how, like, that moment in life literally changed my whole life. It was the one moment where if that didn't happen, the trajectory could have been completely something else. You know, that could have just been a normal therapy session. I could have gone back home. I could have decided not going to therapy again, and I could have finished my science 11th and 12th and become a doctor or whatever. I don't know. But in that one moment when life subjected me to face my reality, it changed everything for me.
Yeah.
It made sure that I shed this like weird human that I had become, and I decided to just like be who I want to be.
Yeah.
Of course, it was not easy. Like, you know, it resulted in me being so cranky all the time. It resulted in me being angry and depressed and whatnot. And it resulted in a lot of like self-harm, this, that, a lot of like abusive, toxic things that I was doing to myself. But eventually all of that ended in what like that metamorphosis of that was that Sufi Motiwala came into existence, and then Sufi Motiwala created a space for Sufyan to exist in peace.
I love that.
I love that for myself, actually.
Yeah.
I did not think I was going to say that today.
I love that.
Because honestly, I was like, do I cry on Humans of Bombay? Like, is that what I'm going to do? And I called my mom and I was like, Mom, should I cry? And my mom was like, are you dumb? Like, who sits at home and decides if they're going to cry on an interview? It's like, Mom, I need to know. I need to know if I can cry on cue, like if I need to do that.
Yeah.
But
So now you're on good terms?
of course I'm in good terms, because I think one thing that LGBTQIA parents have in their brains is that when their child comes out, their stigma results them in believing that, oh, ab to ye puri zindagi hamare upar boj ban ke reh jane wala hai. Like my father's initial reaction was like it was a bubble of like अब like मुझे जिंदगी भर इसको पालना पोसना पड़ेगा और मुझे अब जिंदगी भर इसका ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. Let me tell you that LGBTQIA people are the richest community on planet Earth right now. Like, we are just 10% of the population, yet the per capita of the 10%, y'all wish. So you don't need to worry about that at all. Like,
Yeah.
I would love for, like, you know, Gen Z parents or like people who are Gen Z parents, is that a thing? I think sure.
It
like,
will be a thing.
very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Scares
like
me.
millennial parents or whatever, like, you know, like, don't try to judge your children or like whoever's coming out to you based on your perception of what you think that thing is. Ask questions, try to understand what that person's actually feeling, and I think you and those people will just have a way better relationship. Like, you know, like, it just almost always makes me sad that, you know, as gay people, we always have to say we choose our family. But that's just so sad, because you never know the true intentions of people. You never know, like, you know, what a person has in mind for you. And I have spent so much of my life trying to be Didi Bhaiya people and trying to find a sense of family in people and, you know, put these people on pedestals. And they have never had the best intentions of me in their minds. And I do think that your family, like especially in India, हम खून से इतना जुड़े हुए हैं that हमारे दिमाग में वो चीज़ गांठ की तरह बंधी हुई है कि भाई at the end of the day आपका परिवार होता है.
But that's true.
And I would love, like, you know, for all these LGBTQ parents to find like their child, like look away from the version that they have created and find their children again, because it's the most pure thing. Like, my relationship with my family has gotten so strong. Like, I can sit and talk to my parents for 2 hours, 3 hours a day, and I never thought those days would come.
I love
like
that.
There used to be times where I couldn't have 5-minute long conversations with them without like feeling like putting my head against the wall, you know.
And with both mom, dad.
Both of them.
Wow.
Shockingly, my relationship with my dad is way like okay, my mom was still, you know, she had the sensibilities that, okay, this is normal, okay, this is like we'll figure this out. But my dad, he could have been the most villainous person that we see, you know, in these films ke bhai jaan se marwar diya, ghar se bahar fek diya, matlab all those horrible realities that do exist in this world.
Yeah.
He could have been that. But he decided to be human instead, and he decided to look at me as just his child, like, and just like, okay, I do have some vendettas against you and who you've become right now, and I don't agree with your lifestyle, but I do love you as a child. Like, my dad had that awareness, and I respect and adore that. I will always respect that for him. Respect him for that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
If you had to give a message to every parent that's struggling
Yes.
to figure out how to deal in this situation the right way, who love their children but don't want to up the relationship.
Stop trying to be strong for them, because in this situation you are weaker. Because if your child has decided to come out to you, that means that they've gone through eternal emotional turmoil, and they have tried to predict all your responses and all the ways that this is going to end up in, and then they have decided to trust you with this information. So don't misuse this trust. Don't try to gaslight them into thinking that this is just like in your head or whatever. If you have some questions about it, if you have anxieties about it, if you have like preconceived notions about it, be honest about it in front of your child. Because let me tell you, if that person has decided to come out in front of you, then they have done all the necessary research, and they have all the necessary options, and they have all the tackles to your anxieties. So I'm just going to say that, you know, just be... It's so, like, it's such a funny thing to say, but be yourself. Just be, like, often, like...
Be the mom and dad that your child is used to.
No, don't be the mom and dad. Be a human being. Like, often, like, you know, my biggest mistake in this was that I always looked at it in a way that she's my mom. How dare she not love me? She's my dad. How dare he not be there for me? But that's also Fatima Fazal Motiwala and Ishtiaq Iqbal Motiwala, and they're living their lives for the first time. They also have the same level of experience in this situation that I have. And as human beings, we need to also allow our parents to, like, you know, give them space to grow as people. Like, you can't expect your parents to be perfect all the time. It's a huge pressure. And like, our parents are constantly crumbling in it. Like, main achhi maa nahi ban paaye, main acha baap nahi ban paya. That's one of the leading reasons why parents are in therapy. Like, we are all making each other go in therapy because we are all not checking our own traumas.
Correct.
So just like, look at yourself and understand why you are feeling a certain type of way. And then when you can address your own issues like that, no noise in the world is going to matter to you. Of course, it'll matter to you some days, but at the crux of it, you're going to go to sleep way more peaceful. There have been moments in my life that have been really defining for my relationship with my parents.
Correct.
Like, when I took my family to Dubai, like, we were sitting in the middle of a desert safari function, whatever, I don't know what was that. And I was so, like, ecstatic. I was like, oh my God, I'm in Dubai. I was broke 12 months ago, and I did not have food for dinner or travel. And now I've took my entire family to Dubai. Wow. And I told my dad, I was like, oh my God, Dad, look at us. We're in Dubai. And he turned to me and he goes, it took me 41 years to get here. And that was just a sentence. But it hit me like, this person must have been dreaming about it since he was 20.
Yeah. And you did that for him.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to tell you like an insane story. Like, one time I was coming from Delhi to Mumbai and I was sitting in that, you know, automatic darwaza wala train, Rajdhani or Tejas or whatever that's called. So it was 3 a.m. and I was at the Kota Junction station or whatever, and I decided that I want to have something because I hadn't had anything. So without my phone, without anything, with a 100 rupee ka note, I've come down to get some vada pav. And I'm like, bhaiya chalo vada pav banao. And he's making it like in the most disgustingly slow speed possible on planet Earth. And by the time that second vada pav is made, the train doors have shut and the train has started moving.
No.
I don't have my phone. I don't have my suitcases.
You're Kareena Kapoor from Jab We Met.
Huh?
You're Kareena Kapoor from Jab We Met.
Fully.
Yeah.
But I was not Kareena Kapoor because what I did was I ran with those vada pavs towards the TT junction, to TT ka dabba. And I kid you not, I was Usain Bolt that day. A, I reached the TT ka dabba.
Yeah.
B, मैंने इतना जोर से मारा है उसके ऊपर कि उसको सुनाई दिया है कि ये कोई पागल आदमी रह गया है बाहर. And C, he stopped that train.
हाँ,
For
because
me.
he was scared. ट्रेन
Who
नहीं
is this
रोकी
insane
तो ये
person?
यहाँ रुक जाएगा.
ये तो कूद जाएगा सीधा. And I kid you not, like even like in situations like this, that I always never have the logical reasoning that I could just take the next train. I could call someone from someone's phone. I never have that. In my brain, I'm like, it's do or die. And we're not gonna die here. And I kid you not, like that guy stopped and I made it into the train and I sure as hell had that damn vada pav, you know? So I feel like luck has always favored me.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to favor me ahead as well.
Yeah. If you continue being the incredible person you are, it will. Because it's good karma coming
Oh my
back.
God. Thank you.
So, through all of this, Sufi, what was the thing that was helping you come out? Were you journaling? Were you in therapy? What is
I
the
actually
best
have
thing?
never come out. You know, when you send the information question docket, like the topics that we would be talk about today, I was like, I don't want to talk about this because I've actually realized that the opportunity of coming out has almost always been stolen from me. You know, like I was outed to my family by my therapist. I was outed to all my friends because of like the person that I was in love with. I told them that, hey, you know, I think I might be like bi or whatever. And then they outed me to everybody. So I never even got the opportunity to come out to my friends. And then after one point, I feel like I just made my personality in a way that I open my mouth and people figure out the way I swing. So I just have never come out in reality.
So, this is Sufi Motiwala asserting himself today.
Yeah. And I feel like I don't need to come out.
Yeah,
I don't
fair.
need to be like, oh my God, hi, I'm gay.
Yeah.
Because have you come out to me? I don't know about your sexuality.
Yeah.
And I don't think a person's sexuality defines their existence.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just sick of like, oh, I'm gay and people call me gay, so I'm going to be shirtless on the internet now every day. Ew. Pathetic. That's not the way to take ownership of your body. I know that that's what people think. But it's just that then the misconception becomes that, oh, every gay person needs to look this way.
Yeah.
You know? And that's just like creating more trauma and more stigma for people. Like, just like, chill. Everybody chill out. Everybody time out. Chill out.
And Sufi, very recently, you were also very close to Apurva. I mean,
Yeah.
you are very close to Apurva, who was very recently going through a lot herself. And she's come out of it like a hero. And we
Because
all
Diva
love
is
her.
the female version
Yeah.
of a hustler. I know.
And we all love her for that. And we're
Yeah.
all rooting for her. That obviously must have been difficult on two fronts. One, that you're also seeing a fellow creator go through that. And second, you're also seeing such a close friend go through
Yes, it was just like, you know, it almost made all of us, like, you know, who were experiencing it in lifetime with her, it just made us feel all the more helpless because she was feeling so helpless, because she was feeling so like out of it and out of her zhuzh and out of her energy, because nobody could have predicted what happened.
Yeah,
Nobody could have even guessed that that would be the result of that episode. And I think it took all of us by a very drastic surprise and we were all just bamboozled by it. But I'm just so proud of her and the way that she tackled it. And, you know, like all the nights that we spent talking about how it's going to be such a beautiful thing and like her comeback was going to be such a beautiful thing. And I'm so glad that, you know, she was able to achieve that and she was able to make a moment in pop culture which was all about standing up for yourself and, you know, not being defeated by what people say about you. And I applaud her for that. And I'm always, you know, I'm always going to stand behind my friends even if they're wrong, because I've decided to be friends with them for a reason. And she was not even wrong. So I was like, girl, go off, give us everything.
Yeah, and the best thing is that the internet has gone through their entire cycle, and of course there's going to be their nastiness, which is always going to exist, but now the niceness is prevailing. People are finally
you know,
seeing...
honestly what it was, you know, is that when the controversy was happening, a lot of people behind the doors and, you know, in chats and in DMs were like conversing about how all of this is unfair towards Apurva and it's all a bit extreme. But nobody was feeling confident enough to voice it because of the like naughty, I won't even say nasty, because of the ugliness of the people.
Correct.
And the ugliness that, forgive me, but the straight people were bringing in the comment section. And you know, there's a difference, I always say, between straight people and heterosexual people. Straight people are people who have no sense of anything, and heterosexual people are just people who like women. That's the difference. When I say straight people, I mean that. Like, and all the rape threats and the acid attacks and all of that, just these heinous things, it just like gave all of us anxiety. All of us who were feeling in support of her also were feeling so anxious saying anything because like nobody wants to go through that.
Yeah.
The brunt of whatever that was, you know. And so I feel like when she took a stand for herself and when she did those posts and all of that, I think it just woke everybody the up. Like, you know, you have to take a stand for yourself. You have to say, no, this is not okay.
Yeah.
And when she did that, I think it invoked that in a lot of people. And I'm just so happy that it did, because it's really important to have that awareness of rejecting what you're not okay with.
Yeah. Yeah, and I saw her interview very recently
Yeah.
with Nikhil. I think it was one of the best pieces of interviews I've ever
Yes.
seen. I've never seen someone be so iconic, because I don't have a better
Love
word.
it.
And you have all this, nastiness that people ensue, and I know
It
a
just
lot of
doesn't
it comes on
fucking
your.
matter.
Do you ever deal with that, or you're just like, I don't care?
And there was one point where I used to like constantly like read everything,
Yeah.
and I used to get bothered by, oh my god, अब ये hate comment आ रहा है और मेरे 500 follower कम हो गए, अब मैं क्या करूँगी? Like I'm saying it such deadpan like now, but I used to actually feel in a way that अब मैं क्या करूँगी? 500 follower कम हो गए. But then now I've just realized that that's not my job. My job is to find out what's interesting me in fashion, finding out a funny, epic way to cover it, and making sure that I'm the first one to post it, or I'm posting it in the best of my capabilities, and that's just all I'm gonna do. And when I just did that, and 200 million people watched, so I guess that's working. Let them come up with way more creative ways to insult me, because I think that will be way more interesting. I'm getting bored by your hate. Come up with better insults. You know? I have to make videos every day. I
Yeah.
can't go get a hair transplant. So if you think I'm bald, deal with it. I can't even.
How do you make these videos? Is it like you said you post at random times?
Yeah.
So is it like you saw something like, okay, I have an idea?
Yes.
It's literally
It's
that.
not even I have an idea. It's like, oh my god, I saw something.
That is it.
Like that's what it is mostly, right? Because like
This-
what is most of fashion? I saw this. You also see this now. That's what it is. Like, you know, it's like now I have understood how the information of fashion flows. I know.
How does it flow?
I'm not going to tell you, because then you're going to steal my content. It took me 2 years to figure it out, girl. Spend 2 years and figure it out.
Smart.
It's not that hard. Oh my god, I'm just going to say it. It's like, so basically all the major events that are happening,
Yeah.
most of them get covered on Getty Images. So if you
Right.
open Getty Images and
Correct.
you write Cannes 2025, you're going to get to see the pictures before anybody.
Correct.
Then you just have to take that picture and Google search that image and ask Google, which designer is this by? And Google Images will tell you. And thirdly, you have to have a sense of fashion and what your sensibilities are and what
Yeah.
you like it to create your own opinion. And then you can be a fashion commentator tomorrow as well. And for these exclusives, you just have to do it long enough and then hope that the stylists and the designers will gift you that level of respect, you know, and you will get that as well. So it's just like, that's the cycle.
Love that.
Yeah.
And what is the cycle right now in fashion? What do you think is happening in the world that's going to...
I think it's recession core peak. Like, you know, Brokiana bestie, like nobody's got the money.
True.
Like the 1%ers and all the Black Rocks and the
Yeah.
billionaires, they're buying all the couture.
Yeah.
And all the other people are buying the labubus and feeling great about themselves. Like, it's just mind-boggling to me that the luxury space will just say that, oh, ye Diwal luxury hai, and they will have like a Rihanna and an Ananya Pandey and 5 other people carrying it.
Yeah.
And then suddenly people are going crazy over a wall.
Thank you for saying that. I thought I was the only one. And
No,
we don't
it's-
get that. We don't get just wearing like plastic bags and being like, this is...
I don't get that either.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, are you okay? Because this is insane.
But is there a trend that's going to take over? I mean, a
I think
fashion trend that you think is
fashion
going
trend that is taking over right now is all black and all white, which basically means like averting from like noise and like colors and prints and fineries that make you come across as rich. It's like almost trying to hide away with the normalness, hiding away. Like, we saw that the entire Cannes red carpet, the entire Met red carpet was filled with all black, all white looks.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the celebrities are trying to come as a united front, not to be singled out, so that nobody's being nitpicked, because it is a recession time. It's like So many projects are being shelved, so
Yeah.
many lines are being discontinued, so many brands are being shut down, so many people are being laid off. So this is not the time to draw attention to yourself, not the time to be loud, not the time to be cuckoo. It's time to dwindle away in the background a little bit, especially on the red carpets. But for the people, I think it's now the time to explore personal style.
Ah,
You know, buy 10 things that you believe in,
Okay.
that you find iconic,
let's do this.
and wear that.
Let's do this. Let's do
Oh my
your style philosophy.
Let's go.
Okay, for everybody who's watching this, how do they begin? There's somebody who has a beginner level of
If you
fashion
have
sense.
50,000 rupees, you can build the most iconic wardrobe for yourself.
How?
Let me tell you how. Firstly, you're going to go out and you're going to go out to Zara or any of these high fast fashion brands that work for you, and you're going to buy yourself a pant in all the colors.
Okay.
Black, white, brown, beige, and like 2 other colors that you find fascinating. Then you go out and you're going to get yourself all the colored jeans: black, blue, gray, a brown, a denim wash, something like this. 5 of each.
Done.
And then from whatever the money is left, research Pinterest on like what t-shirts, what kind of prints, what kind of cuts interest you, and just buy like 15 shirts and t-shirts and mix and match for the rest of your life. And whenever you outgrow a specific shirt or t-shirt, swap it out for something else. Like this is my I've worn this jean at least 30 times. I have shirts like these that I save for special occasions like all the time. But all of the things, like most of the things that I wear are part of my own wardrobe, like things that I've curated, because like that's my style and that's the things that I can afford in my price point. I don't want to hire I don't want my stylist to go and beg someone for like the basic, like I don't want my stylist to go to Gucci and be like, give me Gucci, give me Gucci, give me Gucci, and then Gucci is giving me the most nalla Gucci t-shirt to wear, and then I'm being made to wear it. Like I don't want to do all that. Sorry.
Love that.
Yeah. And like trust me, like if you have all the color pants and all the color jeans and like go off with the t-shirts, like I love printed t-shirts that have different cartoons and like Alice in Wonderland and all of that on it. Like things that make you feel smiley and happy.
Yeah.
You can mix and match for the rest of your life.
What are 5 absolute must-haves though? Apart from say
This.
5 absolute must-haves.
A beautifully tailored blazer or 2-piece suit. A trusted hoodie. Or like a trusted hoodie brand that you can constantly buy hoodies from. I don't like all these, like, I think the word hoodie is used very loosely. Cotton ki bhi hoodie hai, or woolen ki bhi hoodie hai, or sab kuch ka hoodie, there's no sense in this. So find a hoodie that works for you, and like make sure you find a hoodie that's not making you sweat. You should not be sweating in your hoodie. So a good hoodie, a beautiful pair of black and white shoes, something that goes with everything. Accessories, like bags, like how like this is such a simple look, but yet a bag adds that extra nuance. Like the washed gold goes with my jewelry, the black goes with almost this wash. So like invest in accessories and grooming. The 5th thing would be, if you're not well groomed, like if your hair is not properly sieved or you're not shaved properly, no matter if you're wearing couture, you're gonna look like.
Yeah.
So those are my 5 things.
Love that. Okay, last question in this style philosophy section. Celebrities and their obsession with not repeating outfits. What is going on there?
I think people often don't realize that most of these outfits that these celebrities are wearing are not even their own clothes. They're
Correct.
sourced by these brands that they are wearing.
Correct.
So they cannot repeat it because it's not even in their closet. And secondly, when they do repeat the clothes and the things that they personally own, it's quite scary. When they do something without a stylist, it's like, oh, that's the reality.
आप रहने दो, आप repeat मत करो.
आप airport looks के लिए भी stylist रख लो. Like ऐसी हालत है उनकी. That's why they don't repeat any closets, because they do need 5 people curating their taste for them.
They're so used to that now.
Yeah. And the few people that, like the Ambanis for that matter, or for a Janhvi Kapoor for that matter, or a Shah Rukh for that matter, they are not affected by things like these because it's their taste.
Yeah.
Like a Shah Rukh is not being pushed around by a Sabyasachi for his debut at the Met Gala, and he stuck to his horse, like he stuck to his reins. That's iconic in its own way. That he doesn't feel like the need to change himself.
Yeah.
I love that. Personal style is something that I fully support.
Fair.
In that sense, you know. And so I think that's why they don't repeat clothes. I don't think that, oh, this is a celebrity, that means that, oh my God, it's iconicity. No. To me, when I look at a Janhvi Kapoor doing an outfit, it's just Janhvi Kapoor doing an outfit.
Yeah.
And what does Janhvi Kapoor do? She's an actor and she's the face of a few brands, and that's it.
Correct.
Her being a celebrity is a title and a byproduct of her job, like I just said.
Correct.
That is not going to skew my perception of what she's wearing. So I will still say how I feel about the outfit the way I would feel if you were wearing it,
Yeah.
you know? I try my level best to do that. And you know, oftentimes people call me biased when I tend to like things a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think it's biased. I just think it's fact. Like, you know, if I like something, I'm going to say I like it. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie because you don't like it.
Yeah.
If you're expecting me to say things that adhere to your opinion, that defeats the whole purpose of my content.
Correct.
I'm not going to do that.
Correct.
If I think that someone's looking great, and if I have even like all these designers, all these directors, everybody has their own muses.
Correct.
So if I have like a inkling towards people that even if they're a 7 and 8, I look at it as a 10, then that's my actual honest perspective, and that is what I stand for. I'm not going to say a 7 or 8 when I do feel it's a 10.
Fair.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not going to mince my words both on the negative end or on the positive end.
No. Yeah.
And I don't think that that's a fair expectation from me.
Fair. There was a time when you didn't mince your words.
Yeah.
And I think you put up something, I think it was for Salman. And there's a very funny story when you were in person, you were meeting him and you were scared.
Yes.
What happened there? Because his aura is that. I can
Oh
completely
my
understand.
God, but like Salman Khan is like the ooh ah ah sensation. Like
Yeah.
we've grown up watching, like my first film that I watched in the theaters was Bodyguard of him and Salman and Bebo.
Yeah.
So they are like my icons.
Right.
And like I used to think that I could sing Teri Meri like Shreya Ghoshal, like literally. And so I was at this Ambani Sangeet only, which is like, for me that night was like the night of my life.
Yeah.
And I was just like dancing and like chilling or whatever. And he just comes up to me and he just shakes my hand and he just goes, "Hi." And I was like, "Do you know me?" I literally actually like remember whispering that. And I think he heard it because he was like, "Yeah, I know you." And then without missing a beat, obviously he was like whisked away into another conversation and another thing. But then he was dancing in front of me and I have a video of that. And I was just like, this is so iconic. That video is on my story. I think you
Yeah.
can pull it up. Where it's like Salman dancing and then Hardik Pandya is dancing in front of me. And I'm just standing there and I'm like, am I dreaming? Like, what is this? Like, am I here?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. He does have an aura.
Because
no?
it was the function where like there were no creators even,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah. Correct.
And so I honestly felt like Cinderella. Like I felt like I have been gifted this opportunity and like I've been given a peek behind the curtain today. And it was the best night. Like it was everything I wanted to be. Like I reached home at like what? 7 a.m.
Wow.
And Vicky Kaushal was like came to like drop me out of the gate and I was like, girl, where am I?
Oh man, I love that. I love that.
I've never actually talked about this night.
Yeah?
Never.
All right. We're going to do a very, very fun
Rapid fire.
confessions with Sufi. I don't know what's
Love
a
it.
rapid fire. What do you mean? We don't. No, I'm just kidding. It is kind of a rapid fire. All right. Okay, tell me, Sufi, is there a post that you ever deleted because you thought it went too
There's
far?
only one post that I've ever deleted in record history
Yeah.
that I recollect personally. It is Surbhi Chandana's wedding review. It was one of the most gaggy reactions I've ever received to a video. Like I posted it and like within 45 minutes it has like 400,000 views and 1,000 people had unfollowed me and it was blowing up on Reddit and it was the first time I had to actively like be like, okay, we done f***ed up tonight. We need to delete this.
Okay.
And I deleted
Man.
it. And I did like, I think critique Surbhi's weddings outfits in another video or somewhere where I was a little bit nicer. But I still stand by that video. I thought it was hilarious because if it wasn't, it would not have garnered that reaction from people.
Correct. One celebrity that you think is killing the styling game right now?
I think just this month alone, it would have to be a toss-up between Alia Bhatt and Janhvi Kapoor, you know, with Janhvi's archival YSLs and Dior's and Alia's Schiaparelli's and Armani's. It was a big month for Indians in fashion. Like, we got the first ever Gucci rendition of a sari, we got a custom Schiaparelli, we got archival YSLs and Dior's, we got Aishwarya Rai Bachchan getting it together at the Cannes Film Festival. Like, oh my God, it's a big one for Indians in fashion. We got Karan Johar giving us, you know, bringing back the menswear flair that we've been missing for so long. Manish Malhotra having the best year of his career in what, the 50th year of his career? Hello. Indians are slaying it everywhere, and I honestly would not want to whittle it down to one person.
Love that. So
the one person who, oh my God, no.
I know what you're about to say, because that's my next question. The one person that needs a stylist, though.
I hope that Urvashi Rautela will not come for me, but like, baby, rips on your dress is not a good look, considering that you have 75 million followers.
Is there a misconception, Sufi, that you want to set straight that people have regarding your content or regarding your work or anything in general, that you're like, no, that's not true?
The one misconception that I would like to change is that my opinion is not the last opinion, it's the first opinion. It's the first opinion, and you know, as they all say, with everything serious, get a second opinion. The second opinion is supposed to be yours.
So for everybody watching, what can they learn from Sufi Motiwala and Sufyan's story? What does your story have to tell them?
Okay, there's two things that I want to share. A, oftentimes, it's our love and energy and our magic that makes people look so shiny. Like, most of the people that I have been obsessed about, and I have been like, oh my God, I need to be friends with them, or oh my God, I need to be with them because they're so cool, were never cool. They were cool because I thought they were cool. And honestly, they became cool after my addition into their life, because my perception of them is all like, my perception and my energies in life have always been so loud that whatever I speak into existence almost always does happen. Like, my guts and my instincts have been really cool that way. So the biggest wake-up call for me is that once you take away your love and energy from people, you realize how ordinary they are. You know? And B is that oftentimes in life, we just keep running and running and running and running and running. But like I said, you live your life in memory. And oftentimes that memory is so tucked away in our subconscious that we're not even aware of it. So there does come a point in your life, and if you're in that point of your life where you're feeling lost, helpless, confused, and you're just not feeling at peace with your own self, I think it's time that you turn and face the life that you've lived and take perception and clarity from it, and understand how the incidents of your life have shaped you into the person that you've become, because that will help you take much more mature and grown-up decisions moving ahead.
No, but very happy to have done this. Proud of you for
course.
being on the podcast. Very happy to have met Sufi. What was also a pleasant surprise is to have met Sufyan.
Of course.
And that was beautiful. So thank you so much for doing this, Sufi. I hope you had a good time.
I had a great time, honestly. Like, there's like so many of these things that I've always been like tiptoeing around, like talking about, because I've always felt like, you know, what if people have like an opinion on this as well? But like, you know, most of these things are my experiences, and you can't change that. And I'm not going to let people dictate what my experience of life is.
Correct.
So I'm just so happy that I was able to be so vulnerable and honest
Correct.
today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sufi.
Of
And
course.
we hope we have you back
Very, very soon. Ding!
All right.
After my debut, honey.